Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Dark Rose Podcast. This is episode 20. My name is Jan Regencia, by the way. I host the podcast for those of you who don't know who I am. And I'm with a featured guest, a high school friend that I haven't seen in a long time, Gentrix Shanga.
Long time.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes. First of all, what you been up to? I haven't seen you literally ages.
I know. I can't even think of the last time. That's on us. But since we last talked, I'm now a producer in television news.
Nice.
I love telling stories, and I get to do it pretty much all the time. Whether it's going out and shooting video, coming back, editing it, putting it together, or if it's getting, a live story ready for air. Things people need to know how to do,
that's awesome.
I don't know, take care of your mental health, stuff like that.
No, that's awesome. It's to me, because I know this is why I actually reached out to you to come onto the show, because you were talking about you being a producer, right? Yeah. By the way, how's the schedule as a producer? I think I knew somebody that told me their schedule was very unique.
Yeah.
But maybe from your experience of what you currently have, how's the schedule like?
I could speak for myself as a producer,
go
but
for it.
It's kind of because everyone's different, right?
Yeah.
And we all work different hours. I've worked overnights for 5.5 years. I mean?
I overnight?
Yeah. Now I'm on the day side. That's why I don't sleep, Jan. I don't sleep because my body's messed up.
Don't blame you.
But
I know a specific somebody that we just talked
yeah,
about.
right.
DJ Shelly, what's up?
She don't sleep either. I feel you, girl. But no. There's not really much of a schedule. You kind of create your own schedule. And what I really like
awesome.
About our team is that you get assigned a story, you get assigned an air date, and then it's up to you to then kind of work out when you do everything.
I see.
So usually when we're working on stories and stuff, it's 3 weeks in advance, right?
Oh,
so the way I do it is that when I get a story, I ask for the air date. When is it airing? So it's airing 3 weeks from now. And if I have to shoot it, that means, okay, so then that means that, well, if I'm shooting, it's probably more than 3 weeks, to be quite honest with you. So I work backwards. I see when the air date is, I work backwards, okay, and then a week before that, I want to edit. A week or two before that, I want to shoot or do whatever. A week before that, I'm doing research and, getting all the information I can for the story. So pretty much I work on my own schedule. I try to stick to the schedule, but to be quite honest with you, I'm a bit of a procrastinator. So it kind of comes down to the wire sometimes.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it too, that's already a lot as it is. So it's just one of those things, because that's the thing too, when I always, you being a producer, I always felt the scheduling plays a factor in terms of how to set it up, the ingredients, you know what I mean? Did you have any challenges, or probably what was a tough project that you had to do, or even a tough story that you tried to have in your past experience? Tough one, right?
Man,
because you've been through a lot, so I can't imagine.
I'm trying to get a tough story that I tried to get on air and it didn't air, or just a tough story to do.
Oh, wow, you're asking me my own question now.
I'm producing the podcast now.
Yeah, she is now. So at this point, I'm now the guest, all right? Let's say tough story to get. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're trying to get it, you're trying to but it just didn't work out.
So
moving forward.
So then that's where it comes in, where you need to know what kind of show you're working on.
Oh, okay.
So for me, I work on the third hour of the Today Show. That's more lifestyle. That's more things you can use, facts you can use. That's more feel-good stuff.
Gotcha.
And here comes my hard news self trying to pitch something on the border, or something with politics, and they're no, that doesn't really go with the show. So you kind of have to understand what audience you're working with. That would work better for the earlier hours. My political story that I want to pitch, or my whatever story, but for our hour it doesn't quite work, or it would be great for another platform on NBC. So in that aspect, I've had kind of a hard time trying to pitch these harder news stories that I feel we should still know, but maybe it's just not on that platform. And so I'm still kind of working my way, because I've only been at NBC for a year and a half now, so I'm still trying to understand how everything works,
the concept, the
exactly,
themes and
what each different show does, what other platforms do. So that hey, maybe if it doesn't work for this show, maybe I could try it for another platform, and and we can still tell the story. But so far, been getting hard no's.
Like a hard nose.
Hard nose.
That's part of the thing too. Like when you try to attempt. Here's the thing. At least like you made the attempt.
Yeah.
If it gets to the point where it's like no's, it's like all right, I gave it a try. I can just move on to like my next like story or next project and stuff.
And that's what it is too sometimes. Sometimes just gotta be like, all right, this isn't the fight I want to fight right now. This isn't the story I want to like die on a hill for. So I'm gonna save that for one that I'm like really passionate about.
Yeah, and
which
maybe
I did.
And maybe like you said, maybe the timing.
Yeah.
Because you know how like you said like maybe earlier it would make sense.
Yeah.
But then if it's like a nice like fun story, happy story theme, it's like you don't want to like collide it with something that just goes like, whoa, this is very kind of serious. Like, what the hell? And
then the audience will be like, what are y'all doing? What's happening? Like, which isn't to say that we don't talk about serious stuff on the show. We do all the time, but we have a certain, like
niches and
exactly.
got it. Also, you you did say you work for NBC, right?
Yes.
Do you like it at least, or?
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh yes, I do like it. I like it a lot.
That's big. It's NBC. I see it all the time. I just go on like Channel 4 and
which is wild to me because like if you would have told like high school Gentrix that she'd be working for like one of the top morning shows in the country, I'd be like, you're hysterical. Because
well, look who got the last laugh.
That's what I could say a lot about that. Yeah. I think I'm the one who has the last laugh.
Oh yes. So all you haters, look where she at now.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's only what, a year. What, prior to NBC, where did you used to work at before that?
Exactly. So before NBC, I was at ABC for 5.5 years.
5.5. That's another top. Yeah, all right. You can start laughing. Go ahead, laugh at them. Laugh at them, please.
I don't even.
Yo, it's like ABC for 5. Are you kidding me? All right,
I know.
You can laugh at me, to be quite honest, because I'm just sitting here like, man, laugh at everybody at this point.
I know. It's wild, because I literally would have never thought. I don't know. Okay, well, half of me never would have thought it would be at this level, this young. And then the other half of me is like, yeah, the fuck it is, because you worked hard as anything.
You work hard, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, like, from my perspective, like, I think you earned that.
You.
You earned the hard work to get to ABC, and well, now NBC. You know what I mean? Because I feel like ABC and NBC, like, those are tough to get positions at, and being able to get those positions, they see something in you. Like, they see like the talents that you have, which I'm gonna get into later because we just talked about it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you have all like the niches, the skill sets, and obviously they like you say you're a procrastinator, but I am. Yes, but for some reason you still get it done.
I know, because I have to.
Exactly, and yet you still get it done.
That's why I do my best work.
Yeah,
but
and hence why you were at ABC for 5.5, almost 6 years basically, and now at NBC for already maybe almost 2 years, right? Yeah. So it's crazy to see like how far you've come, especially like when I saw you in high school. I do remember like you were in production.
Oh my gosh, do you remember my dorky ass self? Just TV was all I did in high school.
I remember. No, it wasn't that dorky. It wasn't dorky at all. It wasn't even dorky. Like, honestly, but you were always behind the scenes though.
Yeah,
you were
always behind the scenes.
So it was already kind of like the start. Oh, I actually do want to ask because I know we're like sidetracking all over the place because it correlates to production. So is like the origin of like producing, like where did that actually stem from? Yeah, you know what I mean?
It literally started in high school, my freshman year.
Like, you just tried it and you were just like,
so what had happened was it was a class called TV production / creative writing. I remember my friend Allison Regan and you remember Allison?
Oh yes,
we had
Locker
taken
buddy.
it
Locker buddy. Shout out to Allison, by the way.
She's awesome. We had taken it for the creative writing portion of it because obviously I was going to become a New York Times bestselling author. Is the only way that I can do it is by, I wanted to get a head start my freshman year of high school. Anyways, they lied to us. The entire year was TV production. We learned everything. Okay, it was supposed to be half and half TV, half creative. Never got to it. It's all right. And then... So the entire year was TV production, and me and Allison were like, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
You know?
You never would have guessed, right?
You never would have guessed. Like,
you sit there like, this is not what I wanted, but like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean storyboards and frames and like just all this stuff?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was TV1. And they gave us the option. We're like, yeah, we know, we totally lied to you. But like, if you want to do TV2 next year, like, let us know. And so me and Allison were like, why not? You know what I mean? And then so we ended up doing all 4 years TV. We were the first cohort to do television production all 4 years, because before you were only allowed to join as a sophomore. And so we were the first people to do all 4 years of TV. And even then I had to fight. But that's
Oh, damn. Well, give props to like the TV teacher, like the production teachers, because think about it, if like they never like, if they didn't lie to you, you would have probably taken a different route.
That's what I'm
saying. Know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been
I always wonder, would I still be writing? Would I have gone in like a completely different direction? I have no idea. This is the question I ask myself every single day. Like, what the heck else would I be doing if I'm not telling stories through television? And then later on, I found that like, my initial goal was to tell stories, but now I'm able to do it in a different medium. And if anything, with a wider impact. And so that's what I really love about it.
That's awesome. Especially the fact, like, again, when you, like, I remember it, like, clear as day. Like, literally, like, you were always behind the scenes, and being able to, from freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you're always behind the scenes. The crazy thing is, too, it's like, you know how you talk about, like, you know, your life is unexpected. Yeah. Your career will be unexpected and where it came from. Like, you didn't expect TV production to be, like, the go-to, like, you know, I don't know if it's going to be the go-to, because, again, you also have other skills that I wanted to talk about, too. Because this is where I was saying, like, again, in terms of, like, life and careers, like, sometimes it redirects you to, like, another place. Yeah. In a good way, though.
For sure.
Because it's, like, one of those things is, like, I really was into this. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, something in my soul and in my mind changed that direction. And that, not just careers, too, like I said, it's life. Yeah. You know, and I feel like everyone got redirected to somewhere, but in a positive manner, you know what I mean? And
I don't know about you, but I'm a big believer of, I mean, obviously everything happens for a reason, but then also letting everything happen so that you can then experience those things. I used to just like try to be so in control of everything. This is the plan, A, B, C, D, and this is how we're gonna get to the plan. Yeah. But then after a while, especially working in TV, you learn, just go with the flow, man.
Just go with the flow.
This person wants to meet up with you or whatever. This person wants to do a project with you, whatever. And it'll lead to something. It'll lead to something. And if nothing, that's fine. You met someone, you got a good story. And that's really how I've been able to navigate through most of my career. Just let it happen. Just meet that person, do that project, you know, whatever. Like, you never know what can come of it. And I think all the best stuff has come from that.
I love that. Especially to all the viewers, you know what I mean? Like, people want to hear that, because it's like, I know, like, there's a bunch of people that still have, like, the mentality. I mean, it's fine if you have the mentality that you have a direct plan, like A, B, C, D. I'm on the same boat with you, where I'm like, I thought it was A, B, C, D, but now it's like A, B, C, D, but it's just like a wave, like to get to
G and then I and then Z.
G, Z, and I
floating all over.
And it gets to that point, like you said, like, you just kind of let things flow, and then like, the things that have flowed, me doing this podcast. I told you in the beginning, like before, like, the whole recording happened, I was like explaining, like, you know, how it really started actually was like from my vlogs, which I'm trying to get back to it at some point, but my main focus is doing this. But in terms of like understanding, like, me, like, trying to get to know people, I'm like a pretty much an extrovert. I like to socialize with people, like, all the time and get to link with people, and it kind of allowed me to realize, like, I do like enjoying, like, you know, being what's it called, humanitarian? Is that what it is?
I guess so. Yeah.
You can just go off on me and be like,
humanitarian.
like enjoying, like, talking to people and knowing like the you know, what they think, like, human mind. Like, I want to know, like, your perspective, your opinions.
You could be a journalist, Jan. That's all it takes. Just being curious about the human person.
See, like, I could have taken that route.
Exactly.
Actually, you took that route, which I was going to ask, you know what I mean? I was going to say, too, because you're also a journalist. I know I was just talking about, like, my podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you're also a journalist, too. You were, or you're currently still a journalist?
So I am a journalist. I know. I just, like, we throw out all these words that all mean the same thing. Yeah. So I am a journalist. Yeah. Who works in TV.
Gotcha. So
exactly.
So you're just everything at this point, basically.
So
you're like
the overarching is journalist.
Journalist. Yes, okay. Yes. So like, to me, like, you being a journalist, like, again, I think this is because where you were like talking about like the stories and stuff like that. What was did you have like a successful, like, what was like the most successful story that you had, like, like, you know what I mean, put in as a journalist? I guess, like,
are you asking me my favorite story, Jan?
Yes.
It's like choosing babies. I don't know. It's like, who's your favorite child?
I know. Okay, I guess maybe should I break?
I got one.
Oh, all right.
It's actually a tough question. I know. It's actually a series of stories that I did for ABC. It was so when of my multiple jobs when I was at ABC, because I had multiple. I moved around a lot.
Gotcha.
One of them was I was an associate producer for our overnight show, World News Now, America This Morning, and I pitched a series for Black History Month.
Nice.
That I was very passionate about.
Yeah.
Only to find, can I say this? Only to find out that they really, in the past, didn't really do much for Black History Month. Like themselves,
right?
They would more like maybe repurpose stories, but
they didn't. They didn't make it like a big.
Exactly. Whereas when I was coming in, I was like, "It's Black History Month. Let's go." I got all the like. I did this on my own, which is something I do all the time. That like I have an idea, I go out, I research it, and then like I pitch it. So like I just kept finding all these great stories about Black people today making history. And I thought that was a great angle because so often we're just always looking back in the past and it's like, well right like now there are people like making a difference right now. And so myself and another producer, because I brought her in because she's actually a producer and she's like an amazing storyteller. We collaborated on this and we were able to tell 4 stories for one for each week of Black History Month that told the story of Black people making history today. One of my favorite ones was, oh my god, I just absolutely love this one because I also learned more about Black history than they teach us in school, which is depressing. Yeah. But
oh my god, yeah, that's crazy. Oh shit. Yeah.
It was on Richelieu Dennis. He's the CEO of Sundial brands like Shea Moisture.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So Richelieu Dennis, back a couple years ago, was renovating Madam C.J. Walker's mansion in upstate New York. Madam C.J. Walker was the first female millionaire in the United States, and she was Black.
Successful right there.
With her hair products, and she would mobilize her community, and that's how she became the first millionaire. And that's she was living up there in upstate New York with the Rockefellers, with all these big white people who were like, you know what I mean? And she's up there. And so
to put her like on the map, you know what I mean, just to get her.
It's more than a map. This woman would hold parties. She would hold like functions, and so we went to her mansion, and it was just like, oh my god, this woman back in like the early 1900s had this humongous thing. Like blew all barriers and did her thing. But so anyways, Richelieu Dennis was renovating it so that it could become a think tank for other female entrepreneurs of color to grow their businesses. So
that's actually really cool.
Exactly. So literally they would live there. It would be like an incubator. And so and in doing that story, we also talked to Madam C.J. Walker's great granddaughter.
Oh wow.
Alelia Walker. And I was like, this is insane. So to me, to be able to like pitch that, no one else was doing it. No other network was doing it.
So you might as well.
And we did it. And it was just like the best story ever came out of it.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's especially like you're right, because I noticed like especially like for like Black History Month, you know, it's like one of those things where it's just like underrated. Like people are not like So to bring it out there, you know what I mean? Like we gotta like really step the game up with Black History Month, showing like, hey, we got a lot of like Black people that are successful currently. Why think about obviously like the bad history of what was going on in the past, and we can think about what's going on now. Look how far like we've come.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and both can definitely be synonymous. And I think also nowadays, I'm kind of in the mindset of Morgan Freeman, where
legend.
I don't really think we need a Black History Month.
Yeah,
I know.
He just has to say something, and he's already like he's it's Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, and his thing is we don't need a Black History Month because Black History Month should be every month. When is White History Month?
Right.
Every
it's just
day.
Like it's like every So it's like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like to me, it's just like it's gotta be fair game. You know what I mean? Like everything is just like instead of like thinking about the past, especially think about just overall different like society, different colors. You know what I mean? We're all humans here. We're all humans.
You would think we weren't. These past 6 years has it been?
Welcome to the world.
It's been tough.
It's been tough. I mean, I would say better than what it was in the past, but obviously it's a long way. Yeah, still a long way. Yeah, but that's awesome though. Being able to.
That was my favorite story.
That's awesome. That's a great like story because it's like it stands out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The best ones are always the ones that you take that chance. Yeah. And that to me is like already like that's already impressive. Being able not like a series. It was amazing. That's awesome. And then the other ones were like a bomb as well. Obviously, this 21-year-old trying to make a name for himself in the tech industry. Yeah. These 3 guys who are like best friends. They helped each other through med school, so to become like doctors and stuff. And now they're practicing doctors and going around and motivating other kids to be like just like to inspire into that leap like just like them. So. Mm-hmm. And then the last one was the first. Was she the first, or rather the youngest woman on the New York Stock Exchange floor, actually trading, and she was Black, and she was just like amazing. And now she, I think there's a movie coming out on her now. I forget who's playing the lead, but it's like big stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's dope. I would love to watch it honestly, just to see like how it like. She started and then just kind of getting to the point of like being a master of stocks and trades. I'm trying to learn how to. Same. I'm trying to. Pay. I only have Robinhood. All right. Were you part of the meme stocks during like 2020? Oh no, that was after. Like, I'm good. Was after. I know what you're talking about too because I was just like, oh fuck. I know. I was there during it. And I was like, why didn't I get it? I was so mad. Yeah, that. Because stocks that's like luckily I didn't start to like after but when everything like dropped it's just like everyone was like in panic mode. Honestly at that point I would just buy because you know that it's never it's gonna like there're gonna be times where it'll go down but it's gonna always end up somehow going back like up. Exactly. But that's the stocks for you, especially if you're like like I don't know if you do it's tough. I don't know if you've ever done it's called day trading. You ever done day trading? That's what I did for like during the pandemic, during 2020. Me and my friend, we literally would like sit there and gosh, don't tell my boss. It seems like I wasn't doing work, but as I was doing work, we were over here on the side like, bro, we need to buy now. And then so we would buy it, and then like we would watch it. We'd be like, okay, tomorrow around this time we gotta sell. Yo. So that's literally what we would be doing. And I was yelling. My mom was like, what's going on? It's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to make money. Don't worry about it. I'm working. Did we know what we were doing? Who knows? But it was good while it lasted. Yeah, hey, I don't day trade anymore. I was gonna say at least like, listen, day trading that's a full time. That's not. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole full time. You gotta watch it. Yeah, I've seen a video. You probably have seen it. It's pretty much. I mean, I've never done day trading, but I've seen it, and it traumatized my head. Like, oh my god, if that ever happened, like when they're like in the middle of a day trade, and something happens, like a power outage or like something unplugs, oh my gosh, and you just completely lose everything. That's when you just flip it over. I saw a video and I saw like the guy like just freaked, like he was like crying because that's literally like all his money. I mean, I guess the best strategic way, maybe because you have more experience, is probably just utilize like whatever you're gonna trade. Just most of it keep out. Put whatever you feel like you want to add into your day trade and just do it. And long contracts. And the long ones. Don't day trade. You're gonna mess yourself up. Oh god, dude. But those are like for the serious people. I wasn't that serious. Hey, but you did do it though. Yeah, I'm very impressed you did it. I have a book, like how to day trade. It's right there. Like it says how to day trade. I'm done. And I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. But then when I started watching the videos, and I see him doing it. I'm like, holy shoot, like there's like different like terminologies for it.
Exactly.
You gotta know when to buy, when to sell.
Yep.
It's just like, what's it called? Bull and what's the other one?
Bear.
And bear, yeah. So it's like, and then you have to know like yeah, and you have to like know like there's like pattern terms, which I don't even remember. I mean, I read it and I still don't even remember what it was.
And then like sometimes you look for quarterlies, or like everything, like you look in the news to make sure like like for example, right, when the war in Ukraine was about to pop off, we all knew it was popping off, but no one else wanted to admit it.
It's still going, right?
And it's still going.
Oh my God.
And so we bought some stock from a company that creates like war material, basically. I'm forgetting their name right now.
Like
why am I forgetting the name?
Like we're talking about like missiles or oh snap.
And jets and planes and stuff like that. I'm forgetting their name. But anyways, we bought into that, bruh. When the war happened, it took off. So it's kind of like you need to be in the know. So me being in the news, I'm like, I already know the news. I know what's going on.
So you're ahead of the game.
So it helped to kind of try and predict, like, I think this is gonna have a good whatever. But there were other times where I thought it would be good. I'm like, oh, we gotta buy this. We gotta buy this. And then it ended up doing nothing or like going down. You know? Yeah,
but that's the thing. You never know. Like, but you have probably like a good like advantage because you have you have the sources ahead of the game. Yeah, you're on like ABC, NBC
but
news.
Anybody can like like anybody can follow the news and see what's happening.
Yeah, but it's all about following the news because it's like if you see or notice things that are like, okay, we have to buy this because honestly, like this is gonna like the whole the company that does like the war like material stuff, like the weapons and stuff.
Because they're big.
Are they? Berkshire Hathaway?
No, I'm the one stock, you know.
Class A.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. I will be actually no, because like if you get Berkshire Hathaway, holy crap, that's literally like just get one. One's like about I think I just saw it earlier. I think with like it's like 500K
seriously
per share. I think so, but I think it's the Class A one, like the highest tier.
I'm curious to see where that goes when Warren Buffett finally decides to retire at 100.
Oh my God. I can't imagine.
He's like 93 now or something.
Probably. But, and he's still like making big. Anyway, completely sidetracked.
Anyways,
going back aside from the stocks and everything. So we're going to talk about we talked about you as a producer and a journalist. There was another one as a videographer, right? So where did that start? Like, was it probably it had to be after production, right? Or was it even before like production? Like
So I started shooting in high school. I would shoot games. I would shoot all my stuff. That's where we learned everything.
Oh, so you were like the before like YouTube went big. You were just like, I'm just gonna record myself like.
No, I used to shoot like on our literally
like an actual
for TV,
like
for TV. Like yes, like before we had these like little cannons that you could like we had literally on my shoulder, and like we used to put like tapes. We used to put tapes in. This is how old we are. I used to have to put like
tapes?
Yes,
God.
like freaking like
what
the little disc whatever you would pop it open, side of the camera, put it in. And then you would have to make sure you, like, if you rewound to, like, watch something, you had to make sure you had to go all the way back, or else you're going to, like, overwrite what you just recorded. You know what I mean? So it's not like nowadays where you just, like, keep continue, hit, like, play it back and keep hitting record. No. You have to literally, like, if you wanted to see something, rewind, and then, like, go all the way to the end so that then you don't, like, record over. That's how long I've been shooting. And then when I got to college, I did even more of it. And so for me, when I got to college, I understood that I had to be a triple threat. I had to know more than the next person. To set myself up for success, because I'm going into a white male dominated industry, and I don't want anyone questioning me or my skills or my talents or what I can do. So I made it a mission to know how to shoot, how to edit, how to write, basically how to be self-contained.
Going back to videography, right? So what was it like, because I know you've probably done a lot of like video editing, right? Where did it, I guess you started more in college, right? Because I think you told me that you started doing videography.
High school. I started everything in high school.
In high school, right?
Everything.
Okay. So what did you, like, how does it, like, how was it in terms of, like, editing? Like, what was it like back in the day?
So,
to now?
Back in the day to now. Back in the day, I used to edit on Final Cut Pro 7. That was one of the best editing systems around. And then they shot themselves in the foot and released the 10, which is basically like iMovie. So everyone like went away from Final
Really?
Cut.
I was told, what's funny? When I was doing like my vlogs, everybody was telling me to get Final Cut.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because like...
That's fascinating.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess at the time, I mean, iMovie was like just a simple like, oh, it's only for beginners. I'm a beginner, so I was just like, all right, cool. And as I got into more... I guess intermediate, advanced like video editing. Even though I didn't take a class for it, people were like,
YouTube University. That's how I taught myself.
I mean, yeah, good point. That's what I did too. That's what I did too. Yeah. But everybody was like suggesting me, yo, you gotta like try Final Cut Pro or Adobe or something like that.
Adobe Premiere.
Yeah,
that's kind of like where everyone transitioned to
Adobe Premiere
afterwards. I mean, totally nothing wrong with using Final Cut still. If you could figure it out, God bless you. But for me, I said, y'all are not the same. So
moving on.
Exactly. So then afterwards, I moved on to Premiere. I taught myself Premiere. Like literally YouTube University, Google University, taught myself Premiere.
Nice.
And once you know one editing software, you just gotta figure out where the buttons are in the other one. Gotta figure out where everything works in that one. And so for me, it really did come down to where are all the buttons? Like how do I do this?
Like how do I find point A to point B and
exactly. How do I add a graphic?
Yeah.
How do I add audio and then music under that and lower it and all that. So I ended up really loving Adobe Premiere because it just made sense. It just makes sense. It's for the layman person. And then as I got more into the industry, they use Avid, which is another editing software.
I was gonna say, I think I heard of it. I never know what it was.
Yeah,
like,
interesting. It's like straight out of the 1980s. That's what it is, and it looks but everybody uses it because it's good for processing a bunch of stuff and organization.
Makes sense.
But I also taught myself that one. And so for that, literally my first job that I got at ABC, they had us do an editing test because we were gonna just edit together simple stuff, right? And they edit on Avid, and I was like, I think I took like one Avid class in college and I barely paid attention.
YOLO.
Right?
YOLO.
So literally, YouTube, wrote myself like cheat notes and like where the buttons are, everything. I took it into the test. I mean, hey, all I gotta say is I got the job. So.
Yeah, all I say is that's why I was there for 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
So, fake it till you make it. Literally has been my entire career. Just figuring it out and then making it work.
You got the sources, you know what I mean? YouTube University, Google University. At this point, you might as well, everything is a university at this point.
Yeah. And then maybe if I know a friend who uses it, I ask them, hey, I'm having a hard time, trying to do this. And I remember my first project that I did on Premiere was for a woman I reached out to, just like out of the blue, because I love the stories she was telling.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about me and my career. I've done a lot of side hustles while also working for ABC, while also working for NBC.
Nice.
I do a bunch of side hustles. One, because like I told you, I want to make myself indispensable. I want to learn the skills and become as good as I can be so that you have nothing to say to me. And I know that you have nothing to say to me.
Gotcha.
So I would take on side projects where literally I would just like transcribe for someone. Like that's so easy. Or I would edit something quickly together for someone. And so for this project, I remember I was like, I want to be a better producer. How do I do this? I reached out to this woman who's now my really good friend, Amy Montalvo. She lives in South Africa. Exactly. Shout out. Good news. Good news out there. And it was just out of a whim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And And I ended up like finding out that she lives in South Africa. She brought, I went down there to do some projects with her. I edited with her, and like I just like learned everything I could from her. And she also taught me a bit about Premiere because that's all she used. And so that's just what it is. You know what I mean? I'm very open to learning. I'm very open to like trying to figure something out and trying to get better at it so that I'm like not disposable.
You said, I'm making sure I'm self-contained.
Exactly.
That's actually, see, like I love that, especially like with all my featured guests in the past. The same mentality where it's just like, I want to make sure I learn. You want to be a learner. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're gonna make I think everybody again make mistakes. Learn if you want to learn something like you have no excuse. It's literally right there. You just have to have,
especially nowadays. It's literally right there. Like how can you not know?
It's like literally like the source is right there.
Yeah.
You're a procrastinator and yet I'm just still learning. The hell?
I'm a lazy procrastinator.
I don't know if I should believe this anymore. It's like a lazy procrastinator, yet, but I'm learning on the fly. I met like one of my good friends is now in South Africa. We're teaching each other. I'm like, oh, that's procrastinating. That sounds to me unprocrastinating at this point.
I don't know. I'm just like you. I mean, I'm a very high ambitious person. I want to achieve a lot. I want to. You want to be great at what I do.
Be great at what you do, and honestly, like just being the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? I think that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it, because you always have to realize, like, listen, like in this world, like we all have like some sort of like purpose. For you had a purpose, and that purpose was you enjoy like learning everything and making sure that you have that your version is at top notch.
Like I expect nothing but the best.
Exactly, and it's gonna keep going. Like it's gonna keep growing.
I really hope so. That's what I'm working on.
Oh, it's not hope. It's gonna happen. Like you're gonna be growing so much to the point. I say this is gonna sound pretty deep. I think I said this to multiple of my podcasts. When you grow every day, I say this: you grow every day until the day like your time comes, which like until the day you die.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's really scary to say. But it's
true. Because then if you stop learning, then what are you doing? What are you doing?
You're doing. This is on you now. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. Like you have like now we have all the sources around. We have people to communicate with. We need help with something. We use like their
TikTok. You were just talking about these kids learning how to do laundry from TikTok.
From TikTok. They like learn how to like fold clothes, learn how to clean dishes, learn how to wear a tie. You know what I mean? Like to me, like I'm kind of recent to TikTok because I just like started like putting out my podcast just to get myself out there. I am going to probably follow your advice where I should definitely put my podcast on Spotify.
Oh, yes. I'm surprised it's not already there.
Stay tuned. Get ready for that one on Spotify.
Yes.
So that's the thing. Like there's no excuses. Like you got everything. Back in the day, it's hard because what technology did they have? You know what I'm saying? Now
you had to go to the library to figure this out, or like hire someone, take some classes. But now everything's out there.
Everything's out there.
And
like
it's easy to be a student.
Exactly, but it really comes down to like yourself. You know what I mean? And this is what I was saying. Like people like that. If you really want to move up on what you want to do, it's always going to be there for you. You know what I mean? It's just all about executing like the first step. It's not going to be like an easy, like right off the bat you're going to get there. But it's just going to take like day by day steps, like baby steps to kind of get to where you want to be. Like for you, like you literally how you started. It was just like I didn't think I was gonna be a producer. The hell I ended up just liking it all of a sudden because my teacher was like, you can do creative writing. Sure. LMAO. You're gonna have to do this first. Next thing you know, you realize, wow, this is actually my career. You know what I mean?
And I was actually good at it, so I was like, all right, cool.
Exactly. And then when you love doing it, and it's like that's another thing too. I always notice, like, because you know how you say, like, again, lazy procrastinator, right? There is actually a difference between being a lazy procrastinator and then the fact that you passionately love it. So when you passionately love something, you still do it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You get what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
Because when you're like when you love producing, you love producing, right?
I love telling stories.
You love telling stories. that kind of separates from that lazy practice. I mean, the whole deadline thing. Okay, that's a different story. But like, in terms of like, you keep going with it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's what keeps you going, is because you love telling stories.
Absolutely.
And you just keep moving it up, even though you feel like you could be a lazy procrastinator. But this is kind of going while. You know what I mean?
I see. Well, I appreciate that. Yes. I will say, I will never be lazy in my craft.
Bingo.
I will never put out shoddy work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not every story is perfect, obviously. But,
nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing's ever perfect.
But I'm not. I have high expectations, sometimes to my own detriment, to be honest with you.
No, but that's good though, because you wanna exceed to those expectations. You know what I mean? And again, it's like, it's all about just doing it.
Yeah.
When you just do it, you can be the laziest person on the planet, but as long as you just start, like, just a little thing, just do it.
Yeah.
And just kind of goes from there.
Yeah.
You know? And
Absolutely.
that's why I like, to have you on the show and being able to hear like what you do. And the funny thing is too, is like, of all the things you're saying, and then even telling me that you're like a procrastinator.
Yeah.
It's making me laugh, because it's just like, I don't think that's a procrastinator, because you're literally look,
you're not my boss waiting for my script.
Like you still do it. Like, you work for ABC. Well, you were working for ABC. You're working for NBC. Mm-hmm. I'm actually excited of where I
do side projects.
I
have another side project coming up. You just wait.
And to make it even better, well, even though I know like we feel old as hell, because we are kind of old. But not really. Like, realistically, we're still young. We're not even in
Speaking for yourself, Jan.
Okay, whatever, right? I'm trying to whatever. Anyways. So sad.
We're so sad.
We're old as hell.
Yes. We are young. Yes.
But we're not even like, I can't wait to see like how you're gonna be like in the 30s, in terms of like where you're gonna be in career. Because you never know, you might end up CEO.
I don't know. We'll see.
I see it right now.
One step at a time.
I'm that's so Raven. I see it in the future.
You see it in the future?
I see it. I can already see it. Like, let me predict it. I think at age, I give it some time, but I'm gonna say like age 38.
Oh, on the record.
38, 39. I feel like that's where I feel like
I'll be CEO.
Yeah, that's why. That's the place where I'm gonna be like, just don't forget about me, right?
Okay. You don't forget about me when your podcast pops off.
Oh,
and you're number one on Spotify.
Yeah. Yes, that's my goal. Hopefully, I will be.
Exactly.
But
speaking into existence.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, it's as long as you just do what you gotta do, you can get there.
For sure.
And that's the thing too. You just don't even think about it. You just kind of just do it, and then as time progresses, you kind of find out where you currently are. You're like, damn.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just thinking about that even now. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, how the heck did I even end up here? And then I look back on all the hard freaking work and the sleepless nights. I mean, I still don't sleep, but like sleepless nights that I had, and like all
the circus shows that
the hard, like it is. And now I see, I'm like, oh, that's how I got here. Of course, because I put in that hard work. I put in the hustle. I was curious enough to ask the questions.
Yes.
And now that's why I'm here. But
hey,
sometimes you don't see it in the moment. Sometimes you're like, I'm still struggling. Da, da, da.
Yeah. You don't see it. It's because like we're focusing literally in the moment. You know what I mean? The only times you really think about it is when you have the time to take a break.
Yeah.
And really like, and then when you kind of have that time for yourself, you sit back, then you have the opportunity to maybe think about it, and you're just like, huh. Yeah. Like, this is where I was 5 years ago, and look where I currently am now.
Literally. 5-6 years
not
ago.
Not bad.
Like, insane.
Exactly. And even just talking about it right now, because it's all about like just trying to hear people's like growth. Yeah. And to be able to hear like your growth from like, I mean, again, I witnessed it from high school. I know we didn't speak to each other for like God knows how long.
I know.
But that's how life is. It's life. Yeah. But finally being able to have you on the show and being able to see how far you've come. Yeah. And years to go to get to with more growth, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I'm actually like thankful that you're on the show, by the way.
Thank you for having me on. I mean,
of course. Hey,
it's the best.
It's awesome. And it's also awesome to be able to catch up with you too.
You too.
Yeah. And also thank you guys for watching the Dark Roast podcast. Stay tuned for episode 21, and we'll see you guys then. Good job, Gentrix. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.